Now let's learn how to manipulate your worksheet even further by hiding and unhiding your rows and columns. You can hide and unhide your rows and columns when your data is too large for you to make any sense, or when you don't want to get confused from all this data on your screen, or even when you want to align a few pieces of your data. For example, I want these numbers to be coming right next to this row, and I don't want these in the middle, but I don't want to change the sequence of the rows either by moving this entire data set over there. So what I can do is I can hide the rows in between, so I can see these two aligning together, work my way through this data set, and then unhide those rows to see all the data back over here. Let's hide a row. So for hiding a row, you need to click on these column demarcations again, like this, and then you have to right click. So this menu over here gives me the options of hiding and unhiding. When I hide, I can see that the column C has disappeared from my worksheet, and you can see the small indent over here, these two small lines, which indicate that a column is missing from this worksheet at the moment. And you can also see B and then D, so you know that your column C is hidden. If I want to hide a lot of rows together, I will select them all, and then I will right click and hide. So now you have these two lines over here again, so you can tell that columns are hidden, and you also know that F is jumping from K, so there are a lot of hidden columns somewhere over here. You can hide your rows in the same manner by selecting your rows which you want to hide, right click and hide. To unhide these rows and columns, you will select the adjacent two rows over here like this, and then you will right click and unhide. So all your rows are unhidden now. Same goes over here. You will select F and K, the adjacent two columns, like this, and then you will right click and unhide. And over here as well, like this. So we were talking about aligning these numbers and these dates. You can easily hide these three rows together like this, and now you have aligned these together. So it's easier for you visually to see your data and manipulate it. So while you're working on a quiz or even in real life with such data, this is easier for you. You can start working on this, and when you're finished working with these two columns, you can unhide your columns again, so you don't lose any data like this, but it also makes manipulating your data easily and making it easy to work for you. Let's explore the view tab over here. So this section shows you parts for zooming in and zooming out. You can also zoom in and zoom out from this over here at the very right bottom end of your page. You can move this to your right like this to zoom in, and like this to zoom out. Always keep your page zoomed in or zoomed out at such a distance which is easier for you to look at your data easily. Alright, so you don't want to get confused by zooming it out too far and then not being able to see your data, or zooming it too closely that you're moving your cursors right and left, in and out, to see what's there on the worksheet. So adjust this and make it convenient for yourself while you're working on Excel. These options over here allow you to change a few things. For example, if you untick your grid lines, this means that you don't have your grid lines over here anymore. Working without grid lines is not recommended, in the sense that you will lose track of your columns and rows. But once you are done working, and if you want to make your work presentable, or if you don't, or if those grid lines are confusing you, then you may omit these. But I would recommend that you keep your grid lines over here to make your movements around your cells and pages easily. This allows you to hide or unhide your formula bar over here, including your name box and this formula bar. And this hides your headings of rows and columns for you, like this. So you can adjust your view of your worksheets accordingly to work easily.